Alright everybody, welcome back to another Ask a Dev Unreal Engine tutorial. My name is Kevin. Did we find a bug with nulls in Control Rig? Today I'm going to present my case for why I think there's something suspect that's going on with the nulls, as well as a couple of my workaround fixes. And we're going to take this information and hopefully pass it on to Epic to see if there's just something that we don't understand or not. So with that, let's hop in and take a look. We're revisiting our advanced leg so that we can hopefully solve the ghost in the machine stuff that has been going on with our setup, that has been driving, I know myself, mad, but I've noticed some of the questions in the comments. Things seem fine and then they're not. So let's take a look. Let me show you the case that we're looking at. So here we are in Unreal Engine. This is Unreal Engine 5.4. You'll notice this is the net, or this is the ending result of when things go bad. Okay, somehow, some way, our entire foot is offset from our foot control. Even though, let me see if I can actually pick it. Even though it still works, it still moves the foot. And if you'll notice in Control Rig, it is fine. It's perfectly fine. So why is it perfectly fine in Control Rig, but not in Sequencer, not when we're actually using it? And even if we come back and we compile this and this completely resets, you'll notice that yes, it resets here. However, it's still totally messed up. This is the ghost in the machine that I've been chasing that has been intermittent and has been driving me insane. So with this, let's take a minute and let's do a couple things. One, my two solves. We're going to switch to Unreal Engine 5.5 because this is part of the several. I've been working on this for a while now, trying to figure out what was going on. So I don't even know if you want to call it weeks, hours, days, whatever. But first thing I did was switch, or one of the most recent things I did was switch to Unreal Engine 5.5. Now, in doing that, I thought I'd gotten closer, but this also is part of why I think I'm ready to make my case. So, one, switch to 5.5. Two, the other change that I made is I switched all of the nulls in the rig to use controls instead. So let me show you what I did. It takes a second to compile. Okay, so inside of our init advanced leg 3, what I did is I went through, and you can see, actually here's a perfect example. These used to be nulls. I switched these to be controls instead. Almost everywhere there was a null, especially for all the reverse foot stuff, I switched it to a control instead. And you can see the net result, and I also color coded them all. All of these are white now because I don't want to accidentally pick these, and I think ultimately I'll have to hide these from animators or something. But anyways, so 1, 5.5, 2, nulls become controls. And the net result is when we open up our sequence for a walk cycle, for example. I've been working with this cycle now for at least a few hours. Not the best walk in the world, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is to see, do we see any ghosts in the machine stuff? And usually the way that it'll manifest itself is you'll go ahead and you'll set some keys, do your thing, and then you'll come back and you'll just hit something like compile in Control Rig. And the minute you do that, boom, everything blows up. Not anymore. Not anymore. All right, so let me continue making my case. So here we are. This is our new advanced leg control based. Let's drop in our old advanced leg null based. Okay, so here's our null based advanced leg, and I want to show you what usually happens. You come in here. All right, let's do the same thing. Let's set some keys. So we'll set some keys on 24, 25, 12, and actually I probably should have moved the foot at least. So let's move the foot, rotate it up, and that's going to be what we do for here. And then let's go 2 frames later, flatten it out. We'll zero it out, and then at frame 12, where it's going to be in the middle, and at 24, we'll go to the back just really quickly. Okay, and then we'll set some keys on our reverse foot, which is the thing that affects our nulls. Okay, and back here, we'll rotate this up so that we have a contact. All right, I'm gonna delete that key, we didn't need it. So our foot is moving. Now, actually I sort of messed that up, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Let's just put a key. I should have done that in 12 frames. So let's go 0, 24. This is gonna be the slowest walk ever. And this would be our down pose, for example. Let's get it down, there we go. So let's just call that. Now, so you've been doing this, not for very long. You're setting some keys, everything seems great. And then you go to your rig, or you reopen this. Once again, a lot of stuff going on, it's compiling. All right, everything looks fine in the rig, nothing crazy, compile. Come back to our anim stage, what just happened? Did you see our foot separate? Okay, so originally, I thought it was 5.4 versus 5.5. I'm not convinced. The reason I'm not convinced is because I've rebuilt this rig all in 5.5 both ways. We have the anim control way and we have the null way. So you'll notice now, just a simple act of compiling that rig, we now have these weird offsets that are going on. Our whole foot is completely separated from our character now. So, but if we go back to our control-based one and we compile, doesn't matter. I've tried this so many times at this point, everything still looks beautiful. So if we come in here, walk still works. Other dude messed up, totally messed up. All right, so that's one, I guess, part of my pitch. All right, here we are in Unreal Engine 5.5. We have a null-based and a control-based, and the null-based still does not work. That doesn't mean that there's something that we don't understand about nulls, but right now I'm going with I'm super suspect until our friends at Epic let us know otherwise. And then just for your own sanity, I actually went ahead and repeated the same experiment back in 5.4. I built a control-based version of it, and I still had problems with the control-based version, I think. So overall, it's a combination. It's a multifaceted ghost in the machine issue, and it's just something I wanted to point out. Now, since we're here, speaking of ghosts in the machines, there's one other ghost in the machine I wanted to point out. This is possibly part of the way we're set up, but whatever it is, it was driving me absolutely mad. Our control for our COG is very simple. It's literally a control. And if you look at it in our control rig, when we scroll down, there's nothing going on with it. It's literally just the top control of our control rig, and then our pelvis is getting placed by the actual joints. Now, the thing that's been driving me mad with this is when I pick the COG in our scene, and I go to, let's say I want to move it at this frame. When I go to move it, hold on, let me recreate the problem. When I go to move it, you see how it's popping? My hand is not jittering. This thing is freaking out. Why is it freaking out? I've tried everything. I've tried disconnecting, rewiring the COG control, changing it to constraint, not constraining, only doing so many things. Okay, it turns out, oh, and the other interesting thing is, this is not a problem if I come over here in a sequencer and I just move the curves. If I just move the curves up and down, it's smooth action. No problem at all. All right, it turns out, for some reason, once again, not sure, but this, I'm gonna count this as another ghost in the machine thing. If I come back here and I simply go and I turn off auto key, now my COG behaves perfectly smooth. So 2 for 1 today, 2 ghosts in the machines. And hopefully these will help answer this question that has been, it's been lurking out there in the shadows. Sometimes it sneaks up, sometimes it doesn't. That's it. That was my pitch for what I think is potentially going on. Ultimately, moving forward for now, I'm going to use a control-based version of this setup. Also, the other underlying thing that's important to kind of take a look at is, you know, our logic for the way our leg works is sound. We're not doing something wrong that I can see. Just the fact that I can swap nulls for controls and it shows this kind of behavior, means that it's instilling more confidence in the solution that we came up with for our advanced leg. So for now, moving forward with controls, if I see jittering before I freak out, I'm going to try the auto key thing. When I figure out, or when we hear back from our friends at Epic on what is potentially going on, or where our lack of understanding is in the way some of this stuff is set up, I will obviously let you all know. In the meantime, 2 workarounds for 2 different ghosts. Go forward with your own control rig stuff, and hopefully that helps you out. As always, let me know what you think about this. Hopefully that was helpful. Also, if you think it is worth re-recording, I don't think it is, because I think the logic is sound from the previous videos, but at least I will go ahead and put a link into the video section or into the comments section so that people are aware of this problem that's lurking out there to gotcha them. As always, thanks for being the best part of this adventure, the community. I appreciate all your support in Patreon, on Discord, and as always for spreading the word. My name's Kevin. Catch you in the next one. Take it easy.